Hello guys, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever you got going on. Gonna play with something new. I found these today. These are cards made by other people that were left at my house. Also removed any cards that weren't made by me from my deck of many things and put them into this deck. And yeah, I just got a strong message today, especially with this Venus retrograde and the alignments that we've had recently. And the message that was coming through really clear is you cannot be on this twin flame journey unless at some point you played the karmic or the false flame or, you know, things of that nature. Now, it came to mind to me earlier when I was doing my cards and coffee because I was talking about, there was this one guy from when I was 16, 17 years old. We met when I was like 16 working at Wendy's. We didn't date till I was 17. Then we broke up. Then we started dating again when I was like 18. And it would be every now and then we'd end up getting in touch with each other. Phone call, email, Facebook, things like that, right? And every now and then we'd get in touch with each other. And whenever we did, the connection would just be so intense that it would just pretty much ruin whatever relationship we were in, even though we knew we would never be together. That's the one at the end. This is the faces off the universe. All right, let's see what cards we got here. Now, I'm kind of calling this the karmic deck, and I'm trying to take the connotation of karmic being a bad word. There's good karma and there's bad karma, and karmic contracts are here to clear karmic debts. So, yeah, even no matter how terrible you think they were, and I know Richie Rich loves to say this shit all the time too, on the other side, these people are your best friends. They came to do this for you, right? All right. So you definitely got a witch. I can smell children. Someone who probably uses children too, right? Don't compare her to sunshine and roses when she is clearly orchids and moonlight. Not seeing someone for what they are. Seeing them for more sparkly and wonderful than they are. Romeo, Romeo, we're out there, Romeo. I got that, and then I got don't do it, it's a trap. Right? Nothing is stopping you but you. And then I got all blue-eyed men should be tied up. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get a shadow card, an oracle card, a 3D, 40, 5D on this spread. I'm kind of focusing on the two people that have put into this. We got the child I was meant to be and the bride in the cage. Because there's a masculine karmic in this deck and a feminine karmic in this deck. So, in that deck anyway, of many things. Island of Solitude. That was quick. Growth, definitely. Like I said, it's all about growth. Everybody goes through the karmic phase. Now, I'm trying to say this in the most endearing way, but it's your programming. It's programming. It's usually toxic programming that you picked up from childhood or TV or something somewhere at some point, right? It's that program of love is how much you can suffer for another person, right? And there's one thing about going through the hard times with somebody, but if 2 years have gone by and those hard times are still just as hard and nothing has changed, toxic behaviors aren't changing, nothing's changing, if things are getting worse instead of better, and it's not because of outside factors, it's because of what people are doing within the circle, their behaviors is why it's not getting any better. That's not growth, right? That's a toxic fucking cycle. It's one thing to say, you know, whatever, your job fucked up because of COVID and things like that. It's another thing that, nothing's getting better because your boyfriend keeps drinking all of his paycheck instead of helping you pay the bills. All right, 5D is the 5D, Celestials, Angels. 5 DBs, 480 is telepathic, recently passed spirit guides, and kind of the truth behind what's going on the 3D line here. "3D presentation." What do people present themselves as? What do they post to be? What are they pretending to be? What are people assuming they're like? Things like that. All right. And I do so enjoy the story times to get us going. So let's get us a story time card to go along with these two and just see what's happening. Whoop. Ha 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 ha. The fox again. Third time the fox has showed up. We got the fox and we got the house. And the King of Cups there. King of Hearts. Right? This is 9 of Clubs defensive. Alright, so let's start out with the house. 4. I smell children. Just remember that real quick while I'm reading this one. My hair is ridiculous. Sorry, y'all. I wish I could be girlier for you. I really do. I do try. Alright, so we got the King of Cups. Home, domesticity, safety, and sanctuary. Rather than using any specific story, we choose to use the archetype of the little cottage in the woods. Nearly every fairy tale heroine or hero either began their story from their humble home or sought sanctuary in such a place. Snow White found her shelter in a little cottage like this. This can be the card that represents safety and security as well as property, real estate, and physical location. Families gather here and secrets might be hiding behind that closed door. The path of stones leads out as well as in. The cards around this can indicate what is stirring inside the home. Is it a witch or is it a witch's oven? Or is it a family gathering for a happy celebration? Looking for your questioner's cards. If the question is about real estate and the house is nearby, it is a strong indicator that a deal will happen. 14. The fox. 5. The 9 of Clubs. The rule breaker. Doing the unexpected deception. The fox shown here is representative of the trickster in the land of fairy tales. Rather than being in one specific tale, he is the wolf, the coyote, the imp, who wants to play tricks on you. When this card appears, someone isn't doing what they're supposed to do, or it may be that their role is to break the rules. Their role is to break the rules. Their contract is to break the rules. While being deceived can seem like a bad thing, this can be a good card meaning. Fate is working in your favor, but don't expect all the rules to be followed when this redhead shows up. Be cautious before you accept any sort of story as fact. If you are given new responsibilities at work, they may not come with more money right away. Redheads are associated with this card, so pay special attention to anyone with auburn locks. They could be there to teach you a lesson in deception. Alrighty. So what do we got down here? We got the Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, the 5 of Wands, the 7 of Pentacles reversed, and we got a feminine joker with some brass knuckles over here. Alright, so definitely the end game on the 3D for whoever has energy that this is picking up, right? Is Ace of Pentacles, wanting to bring things into physical reality, right? Right? 10 of Pentacles, that's the end. Wealth and establishment, right? But there's a lot of conflicts, right? It feels like wolves are circling And it's hard to maintain that, right? It's also hard to maintain that due to bad investments, right? That could be investing in people or anything, really. A bad job. Like I said, the promotions aren't coming with raises, things of that nature, right? If it's a karmic person trying to trick another person, what? You pick the wrong person, right? Things like that. That's the wolves circling around now, too, also, right? Now it's circling around. The wolf circling around, I'm just getting a, blood in the water type of energy, right? Like they're circling around like they know. They know. They know, like, you have the wolves at the door as like the bills type thing, but then there's these other wolves that are circling around like, nah, I've already fed you. Right? We got the feminine joker here with the brass knuckles trying to punch their way through, trying to be big and bad about it all. Trying to knock you out. Alright, so what do we got on the 4D? On the 4D, we got the big D energy. What? Ace of Wands. Definitely the high passion card, right? Fire is really a lot about sexual energy for sure. There's definitely a lot of passion. Right? It doesn't necessarily mean that these people aren't passionate. A lot of them are. I've explained this to people. There's people who operate out of two motives, right? One motive is extreme emotion. Some people respond and do weird negative things out of extreme emotions that they cannot handle and contain, so they act out in some sort of way. Or it is the opposite. Right. I got a negative emperor here, which is the reversed emperor. What? This is someone who likes to play toxic games, right? I always say that the emperor is kind of like the chess player, right? Always seeing 3 moves ahead. Well, reverse, this is somebody who's trying to manipulate the whole system, right? This is someone who's manipulating people, usually for their own entertainment or their own benefit, right? Why would somebody do this? What? Extreme emotions, scared of being left out in the cold, scared of being left alone, scared of being impoverished, right? I definitely see that there's a lot of rebirth happening, right? Because I say the karmic, it's not so much that they deserve to be punished. They don't really need to deserve to be punished. They came in to fulfill a contract that you all agreed on. Everybody agreed on this shit, right? So it's a time of, once you're past that part of your contract, there is parts of rebirth. They've come to bring rebirth not just to themselves, but also to you, right? And there's definitely a call here for a truce. There's a call for a truce. But I will say, whoever that you're going for a truce for, actions speak louder than words. Apologies mean jack shit if you do not see that that person's behaviors themselves have changed. All right? Because you definitely, here we go. There's definitely a lot of illusions. You got the lobster here, right? Now here we go. You get the goddess up above and the woman with her arms raised up to the goddess, and she looks perfectly fine up here, right? Oh, down here, what? The goddess is crying. He's crying, right? You can't claim to be an empath and not see or feel that you're hurting somebody. I mean, that's just it. That's just it. You can't stand there with your arms out wide, soaking in and calling down the moon and feeling all wonderful about yourself while there's someone sitting right next to you horribly, morbidly depressed. Shielding out negative energy is one thing, but shielding out basic empathetic, I mean, to be an empath is to pick up on other emotions. You can't be empathetic and then not give a fuck about somebody being upset or not care about people hurting their feelings. It is a time of coming back into balance, right? This is a time of progress and discovery, of learning how to balance on them stilts without getting rocked over. I got the Knight of Pentacles here. Definitely some information on a physical form on the 3D that will be coming through in some way, shape, or form, right? They got the Four Swords here again too. What, the truce does not necessarily need to be with another person. That truce needs to be within yourself. I keep saying this, right? If you claim to be a twin flame, then you must own at what point did you play your karmic roles. You can't hide that shit. I'm sick of everybody burying all this crap under the carpet and pretending like they've been perfect angels their whole lives. No, we weren't. Everybody's played their role. Everybody's got that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Right? Star card, destiny. This is watering your intuition and also watering the 3D ground that you stand on. This is the sextant down here at the bottom. That's what that's called. I didn't make up that name. Right? Calculating the stars. This isn't just following your intuition and things like that. Look, I had to cover up, so I don't know if I'm in trouble with that. You got the observatory in the background. You got the boat, right? That's how they used to calculate sea travel back before the Mariner maps. They used to have to use the stars. All right. I got the Bride in the Cage. A lot of karmics land themselves in this position. Staying out of comfort, staying out of responsibility, staying over obligating yourself to something that you don't really want to be in, right? Right? You got the child I was meant to be. What? Forgetting who you were before the world told you who you were supposed to be. Forgetting what you truly like, forgetting who you truly are, just in general. Oh man. Sorry, a hair touched my eyeball. Good. Don't look like I have a black eye. The child you were meant to be. Who were you before the world told you who you were supposed to be? Who were you before your programming really hit, right? Pay attention to that, right? The child you were meant to be usually was beaten out of you at some point by someone, somewhere, right? Oh, you couldn't sit still. You talked too much. Yeah, you were too wild and crazy. You were too passionate. You were too this. You were too that. You were too much. You had too muchness, Alice. And they had to beat that shit out of you. And unless you found a way to escape to Wonderland yourself, that's just how life was, right? So it's a matter of finding that center within yourself again, right? And what genuinely, truly makes you happy before the world all got its hands on you, before broken hearts and jaded parents and siblings and all that other stuff and friends and whatnot, and just before the world got its hands on you. I got solitude here. And with this one, the solitude is a blessing, right? And the solitude is where the growth is, right? You got that beautiful, looks like a wisteria growing there in the middle of that island, right? And then we got the growth card here, right? It will be in your solitude. If you escaped from this cage, right? Or if you're in this cage, you might need to find a way to find yourself some physical boundaries from other people so that you can be allowed to feel your own emotions for a little bit, all right? So that you can figure out who it was that you wanted to be. Because, I mean, that's really what it all comes down to, y'all. What? Who did you want to be? What did you want to be? What are you passionate about? And it's silly, and a lot of people take it the wrong way. It doesn't mean that you need to be. I'm going to use my deck of many things here for some final answers. You don't have to be Richie Rich, super famous. You don't have to be a globetrotter. You don't have to own 40 acres and a mansion with a creek in the back. You don't have to be owning a furniture store and just owning your own business, right? Your job really doesn't have to be, your calling doesn't have to be your job. That's what I'm going for. Your calling does not have to be your job, right? It is for some people. So like in Richie Rich's case, it just happened to fall in line. And trust me, he fought that shit really, really hard. To be that way. But maybe your goal is just to own your own business. So you end up owning a furniture store. That doesn't mean that your calling is to sell furniture. No, what do you do with the prosperity that you get from your life? Do you donate the furniture that you can't sell to Habitat for Humanity, or what is that home building one, right? Or do you go and do you help build homes and remodel homes for things like that? Now, like, that's a calling. That's a purpose. What? I own a furniture store, and then what I like to do is I like to work with Habitat for Humanity, and when they're done building a house, I help furnish it. And that's my contribution every year, is to help furnish a house for a family in need, right? That's a purpose. That's a calling. And that's how you tie one thing into another, right? Ooh, when the debate is over, slander becomes the tool of the loser. No joke on that. I'm still being accused of sleeping with everybody in town. Just crazy, right? What else do we got? Slander becomes the tool of the loser. No one saves us but ourselves. We ourselves must walk the path, right? And now, I would like to add, this is used a lot, and it's twisted. And it's twisted up because it'll be like, they're slandering me. Is it true? Slander is false accusations, not the truth. Someone speaking the truth about something shitty you did is not slandering you. That's not slander. Slander is when somebody's making up shit about you that's not true. That's the difference. All right? Just want to clarify that, because there's a lot of people who would be like, they'll take that card and they're like, especially if like one of you ladies is watching my videos and your man starts watching because he's like being like that, right? Slander is the tool of the loser. You're slandering me. No, dude, nobody's slandering you. If you really did that shit, that's not slander. That's the truth. Slander would be, you didn't do that, but I'm telling everybody in town that you did and accusing you of it constantly. That's slander. All right. No one saves us but ourselves. We ourselves must walk our own paths. Very true. They said in heaven, love comes first. And at the very end, I got, I'm too involved now. You jump, I jump. Remember? I can't turn away without knowing you'll be all right. And that would be the difference from this deck that was created by me. I would say mostly by me, but I definitely had major influences from the gurus and stuff that I watched. So, just in comparison, just so that we get a whole thing here to go with that house card and everything else, right? Nothing is stopping you but you. All men with blue eyes need to be tied up. I can smell children, or I smell children. Don't do it, it's a trap. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Don't compare her to sunshine and roses when she is clearly orchids and moonlight. To, when the debate is over, slander becomes the tool of the loser. No one saves us but ourselves. They say in heaven, love comes first. Not money, not stuff, not fame, not popularity, not any of that. Love comes first. I jump, you jump. Remember, I can't turn away now without knowing you'll be all right. I don't know. For me, very different vibes there. All right, y'all. That's all I got for you today. Blessed be all those who walk these weird and winding paths with me. I hope this helped you out some. If it did, please, buttons and bells. Buttons and bells. Click my button, spank my bells, and I'm going to holler at y'all later.